where silence screams. The truth lies buried beneath the seams. CPS is out, hunting on the prowl. With the badge of justice, we'll take the vow. They come with badges, dressed in deceit, taking children, claiming it's all for the streets. We rise up, we won't be ignored. The CPS Punisher leads us toward the score. They come with badges, dressed in deceit, taking children, claiming it's all for the streets. But we rise up, we won't be ignored. The CPS Punisher leads us toward the score. Together we stand, for the truth we'll fight. CPS, hear a battle cry. No more corruption, we'll reach for the sky. A family torn, but we're ready to stand. For our children's rights, we'll take back our land. On the mic, with hearts on our sleeve. Herbert's got the law to help us believe. Expose the lies, peel back the mask. No more injustice, it's truth we'll unmask. Stand together, this mission's ours alone. CPS, hear our battle cry. No more corruption, we'll reach for the sky. A family torn, but we're ready to stand. For our children's rights, we'll take back our land. Stand together, this mission's ours alone. CPS, hear our battle cry. No more corruption, we'll reach for the sky. A family torn, but we're ready to stand. For our children's rights, we'll take back our land. CPS, hear our battle cry. No more corruption, we'll reach for the sky. A family torn, but we're ready to stand. For our children's rights, we'll take back our land.
All right, everybody, welcome to Wednesday night CPS Victims Hunting Justice. I'm your host, CPS Punisher, and we got the chat right here off to my side, right about there. Oh, let me kill that police scanner. If they come in while I'm on the show, then, well, we'll know. Sorry about that. We got the chat right here. Please like, share, all of that good stuff. We had our friends from the UK supposed to be joining us tonight. If you guys are out there and you're having problems, please put a message in this little chat thing right here, and we will get back to you with that, and we'll get you on the show with us. If there's anybody else out there too, since maybe we're light a guest or not, if you guys want to get in, put some stuff on the chat here and we'll bring you in. Otherwise, if you got questions, comments, answers, things that you want to tell us that we don't know, whatever you want to do, please, please put it up there. Get it up there. All right. So I'm going to bring in Herbert and bring in Vinny. Vinny, Herbert, how we doing, guys?
Good. How you doing?
We're doing all right. We're doing all right, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So we got our friends from the Great Britain coming in here at some point. We're at Durham, and I don't see them backstage yet. They're coming. So we'll see if we can get them on that. Vinny, you sent me some interesting information about the child trafficking thing I saw.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that. So in the United States, there's a child a minute taken by CPS, but this stat said in the United States that, or not in the United States, I think it was a worldwide stat, but I think it said every minute, 2 children are taken into sex trafficking or human trafficking, right?
Yep.
And that's just insane. So that means that 2.5 children per minute are taken into the custody of some sort of terror organization, really. Whether they're sex trafficked or CPS is taking them or any of that stuff. 2.5 children a minute in this world is getting taken into this disgusting madness of people. I keep bringing up have you had a chance to read the harm of removal? Have any of you guys gotten a chance to read that yet? Vanny?
No,
I'm
I,
going
I
to
haven't gotten that far yet.
pull that up here for a second. Let's see here. Thought we might have had someone in the back, but I guess not. Yeah, if you guys are here, if you guys are looking, Durham, any of you guys are checking it out, just hit me up and we'll get you in. Also, I have that other lady that talked yesterday. We can hit her up and see if she wants to hop in here real quick.
Renee?
Yeah, Renee. Let's see if
Yeah.
we'll see if she wants to come in too. If these guys don't log in, but I'm going to pull up the harm of removal first, and I want you guys to see a copy of this. I'm going to put the link for it in the chat also, so you guys at home can have this stuff. So just get with me here. Let me see the harm of removal. The harm of removal. This thing is actually incredible, and I don't understand why more people aren't using this when they go to court. I mean, this is just it's the University of Baltimore that does it. I can't believe that people aren't referencing this for what's going on. I'm sure that I don't know what it takes to get a licensed study or anything. There it is. It's the first thing that pops up. The harm of child removal, download, accept all cookies. Yes, ScholarWorks at UB. So this is the link for it right here. I'm going to put it up in the chat so that way you guys can go ahead and get a hold of this thing, because this thing is everybody should have this in their arsenal to do when they're coming to take your kids. Right there. There you go, guys. So that's in the chat. If you guys want to click on that link, you can check it out yourselves too. This is the actual download link for it. It comes right up. Let's see. I know you're not going to be able to see it, but I'm going to put it up there anyway. So let's not all jump in on it at once. I know I'm already aware. So here we go. It's there. Yell at me now. This is the study right here, guys. It's 580 pages.
Hello?
Hello, Herbert.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're all right. I thought he was going to yell at me that he couldn't see it. But so, okay, the whole report's not 580 pages. This part of this segment of this book is, but it goes through separation and attachment disorders. It goes down. It has all of your information that you need for who to study in these footnotes here. So you can give this stuff to your lawyers. That way they can quote from it. It's got plenty of great quotes in there. It's got plenty of great information in there. Trauma and inherent in the act of removal. So get this. This one has always killed me. On top of the harms of separation from family, the act of removal itself, particularly the jarring way in which it's accomplished in the American system, is inherently traumatic. Dr. Monique Mitchell, an interdisciplinary professor who focuses on grief and loss, chronicled the results of a unique study of foster children and the feelings of grief and ambiguity they occurred when these children were separated from their families. Most notably, Dr. Mitchell reports that the simple act of removal, without regard to what happens afterwards, has significant effects on children. She states that while generally an adult might think of removal as a quick, isolated one-time event, for a child it is a significant turning point that many children will relive over and over in their minds. This undoubtedly causes children immense trauma as they replay this horrible moment in their lives. Being removed from one's family and entered into foster care is extremely harrowing and, for most children, completely unexpected. Once the state receives a report of suspected abuse and neglect, a child may be roused from their sleep, taken from their bed in the middle of the night, put into a car with strangers, and dropped off in a holding center overnight until their removal is approved by a court and a foster placement is identified. All of this done with minimal explanation to the child. Sometimes, if a placement is not available, children may even sleep in the offices of the state's Child Protective Services. When a placement is eventually identified, they are usually taken to the stranger's home. And then you guys can go on and read it from there. But, this whole thing is broken down of how awful their tactics are, the way that they do things. I don't understand why CPS and why lawyers can't fight and make this not happen. Like, this just makes no sense. Maybe because there wasn't enough studies on this stuff. I don't know. But there are studies now, and there is information out there now, and it's right here. Like this, everybody, I'm telling you, you all should be using this manual in your book, this report, because This right here, if this doesn't tell it all, and use this at your 72-hour hearing, use this, that first hearing that you guys go to, the 72-hour or the shelter care hearing or whatever you call it where you're from, use this document, guys, because there's no reason, unless your kid is short of, like we heard, oh man, I'm having you heard the lady Friday with us, Jesus, what's her name? What is it? No, Vinny, who was our guest Friday? I'm having a wicked.
Josie?
No, not Josie. Gracie, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't tell me yep, and it's not. What's her name?
Gwen?
Herbert's buddy there.
Oh, Gail.
Gail, yes, Gail. Okay, phew. Like Gail had said that she disagreed, but this is where I got that statistic from about the children that have been removed. That they would rather not, like the trauma to them is so much that it almost is complacent to not getting removed from an actual abusive home because of the trauma that these kids face. And what's funny is that CPS wants you to go out and get all these trauma-enforced classes, because that they want you to be aware of the trauma that was caused by arguing and all of this. But one of the number one traumas to a child is sudden removal from their home. So why is it that CPS uses this tactic, and why is this an acceptable tactic to be used? It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense.
Well, that's something we will find out once we get the CPS worker on the show.
Yeah, well, we don't know when that's going to be. So if there was one that's listening, maybe they can answer it.
All we're doing with this is going in circles. I mean, look. When it comes to law enforcement, you got me. I can answer your questions, and if I don't have the answer, I can find the answer. But we have to get a CPS worker to be able to address these issues, and so we don't go making them up and coming up with
Look up rhetorical question.
What about the rhetorical question?
Well, you say I'm running in circles. Well, I'm asking a rhetorical question. Doesn't mean it's an actual question.
No, I'm saying we don't have any. We have no actual answers or close to answers to why things are done the way they're done. Now, when it comes to law enforcement, you have me. I can give you answers, and I can look up stuff. But until we get somebody,
we've got 15 people on here that are watching right now. One of them might be a caseworker that might be able to answer that for us before we get a caseworker here.
Hopefully, they will chime in. If a CPS worker can chime in, that would be great.
Yes, thank you. That's a great
But I
question.
can't. So you are. I can't answer it. I can't. What they do, why they do it, the way they do it. I have no idea. Police, I can answer those questions. Vinny has already given me homework to doing something dealing with the police, and I'm going to get an answer back from him.
Yeah, it's in your TikTok, bub. It's in your TikTok, your message to you, Mr. Durham Justice, Miss Durham Justice. It's right in there. I can resend it to you too, though, if you didn't get it in your TikTok. It should be right there. Because I saw your messages that you had sent me earlier. But I'll go there right now and I'll put it in there. TikTok. Here we go. TikTok. See, and this is brutal. You guys, you can speak to fill the time, fellas.
Okay, hey, Darren, Vinny, I'm gonna give you an example of what I'm talking about. You work at a restaurant, and I hear at this particular, I'm not going to say the name, at this particular restaurant that you work at, I've been hearing that they serve fake bread. It's not really real bread. It's a mixture of ingredients and all kinds of stuff put together. It's not real bread. Now that you work there, can you tell me if that's true or not?
I don't know, because it comes in like a crate form, but it's put on like a crate wrap.
But you're right there with the bread. Does it look like bread?
It looks like bread to me.
Okay. You see, so you're a factual person because you work at the restaurant.
Vinny, are you a bread specialist, Vinny?
No, I'm a broiler / fry cook.
All right, so you
Okay.
can't really comment on the bread, right, Vinny?
No.
Okay. Here's what
Thank you.
Vinny can comment on,
The rest
because
of
this
the
is
case,
something
you're on.
that's for real. Here's something for real. I used to think that
Oh, shoot.
restaurants
I wrong link.
will
I
keep
sent
the
him.
oil. Will keep the oil in for like a week. You know, the same oil that they fry
Oh.
things in. And Vinny told me different. What did you tell me, Vinny?
We change it every day, twice a day.
Yeah, you
Isn't
got to
that
keep it cold
amazing?
down or burn or catch on fire.
There's no way I would have believed that if Vinny didn't tell me. That
And then
they changed it twice.
we filter in between.
Yeah,
And
they
you
might
filter in between.
violate.
You see,
Yeah.
now I wouldn't have known that, because as
You
far
have
as I'm
to filter
concerned,
the oil 3 times a day.
yeah, I had no clue. I figured it's the same stale oil, and they leave it for 2 or 3 days before they dump it. And I tell you what, most people would think that.
Hello, Danielle. How are you? Danielle. Jesus. And then we got-
Danielle.
yes, that's what I thought too, right? They watched me the other day on the TikTok. It was really good. Thank you guys for watching. I'm so glad that you guys are following us. This is so good. So happy. And then don't forget, on Saturdays we got Vinny's. There's the arbitrator. I sent you a link too. Also, arbitrator. I thought that you might want to be on too. The Truth SS Serum. I like that. But in your TikTok, I sent you a link for the show as well, just like I did with you, Durham Justice. So the links are there for you guys to pick up and get on in the show with us.
Darren,
Yes, sir.
I'm about to send you something.
All right. Vinny's going to send me it. Yes. All right, good. We're good. We're doing real good. Herbert was just trying to explain about my rhetorical question. It is where he was going with that, if you guys were wondering why he was talking about the oil. Because I constantly ask about the caseworkers.
Hi, Terry.
Yes, Bob. You sent me it?
Yeah, I sent it to the number you text me from.
Oh, okay.
Wait till you get a load of that. That might be up your alley.
Up my alley. Oh yeah, I've tried this one. I've tried to get them. I don't know who they. I talk to her once in a while, and then she'll like answer me, and then she won't, and then she will, and then she won't. But I mean, when you have 65,000 caseworkers, yeah, let's share a little bit of her stuff here. This is exactly who I tried to get a while back, Herbert, if you remember, about this. And she said she was going to be on the show, and then she never came. But
Yes.
this is her right here. Got a grievance when lunch goes wrong. What about this? Things that gave me the ick. Safety plans. Let's hear what she has to say.
What is up, guys? Today I'm going to be talking about safety plans. Realistically, this video...
Oh, shoot.
What is up, guys? Today I'm going to be talking about safety plans. Realistically, this video is for if you already have an open case and you are already dealing with a safety plan. First things first, something everybody needs to know. Safety plans are voluntary. So realistically, anything you agree to in a safety plan, you don't have to follow it if you don't want to. I will say that if you do end up going against something in your safety plan, it could potentially give your caseworker some evidence to use against you in court. But that's only if by breaking the safety plan, you are putting your child in any harm or danger. If a caseworker comes to your home and is trying to get you to fill out a safety plan, if they threaten you with taking your child if you do not fill out the safety plan, that's blackmail. Also, safety plans are temporary. There should be a start and end date to every safety plan. And even if your caseworker is trying to say that there's not, make them set one. Also, I encourage you to go and read your child welfare manual because there will be a section on safety planning. Every state has one, and you can go and read about what is even required in a safety plan. If at any point your caseworker did not put something into the safety plan that is required by their policy, it is null and void. I'm hoping that helps out a little. Safety plans are kind of complex because they're supposed to be unique to every case. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to shoot me a DM or send me an email at conflictedcaseworker@gmail.com. Remember guys, keep your kiddos safe. Don't let CPS in your house without a warrant. What is up guys? Today I'm going to be talking about...
Yeah. So did you see what Danielle wrote?
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out if she's saying girl is or
she is, right? That's what I wrote too. I'm like, are you talking about you? Because if you're it, then please come in, get on the show, get the link. All hands on deck. So yeah, that would be amazing. Is she? Hey Carrie, how are you? Has she responded to us yet?
I haven't seen it pop up yet.
Oh come on, this is
I just saw someone talking, but I couldn't hear her.
Oh no, that was the video we were playing.
Huh?
That was the video we were playing.
Were you guys able to hear it?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh, I didn't. I had to sign out and come back in. I couldn't hear anything.
She said, no, I'm not. I know her.
Oh, well, Danielle, can we use you as a tool to get to her so we can get her on the show? Because I've tried multiple times and I know she's busy. The amount of followers she has is obviously she's got people blowing her up all the time. And the value that she holds. Is there any way that you can help us in getting her? I will send you something. If you can help us get her on the show, I'll send you, whether it's an apparel, a policy manual, something. I'll send you something to get her on the show with us.
This is American Pie. I like that name.
Yeah, that's Brenda.
Oh, that's Brenda? American Pie?
Yeah, I'm pretty positive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. How is Brenda tonight? And
damn, Danielle. Yeah, they're bad. They really are.
I mean, that would be. I hope that. I'm looking here because Carrie says she sent me an email and I don't see it.
She says she can reach out to her. Yes, and yes, she will talk to her.
To reach out to.
Are
you talking about yes, Carrie, I did. They used the YouTube this lady for this thing right here. We played it on the show actually. Remember that time we played that article on the show about the that's this one here that you're talking about.
An ex-worker?
Yeah, she was an ex-CPS worker.
Oh, that's good. So you can reach out to an ex. That's would be wonderful.
He said, when are you wanting her to be on?
Now.
Yeah, now would be
great. For this.
And Danielle, come on now.
Title 4E is a bonus incentive paid to various people involved in the adoption of a child in the United States. It is distributed to departments of the government, hospitals, schools, lawyers, colleges, and more. Payment amounts distributed are determined by judges ruling on eligible cases. What makes a case eligible for this funding? The parent of the child in question must be single, not married, and must be on some form of government assistance. Even student loans make a family eligible. How are nurses and teachers involved in receiving this bonus incentive funding? Every child they report to CPS. If the result of that report is that the child ends up being adopted by complete strangers, then they are awarded this funding. The school teachers who report that a child in their class may have been abused by their biological parents. For every child reported that is successfully adopted out of foster care, they are paid a bonus. No bonus is paid if the child is sent home. Why is this bonus funding corrupt? Because it is based on the Children's Administration's AFC-ARUS report. In this report, the numbers reflect that only 12% of children removed from their parents and placed in foster care were actually abused by their parents. 41% of all foster children were removed at birth. Many states do not have statutes that allow state officials to remove children at birth. The parent would be in jail if they abused a newborn baby. This funding is made for adoption. If a child is to be returned to their parents, this funding should not be initiated. The high payout of these incentives are the main reason that adoption becomes the plan, even when it should not. Under technical assistance of the ASFA, it clarifies that adoption should be the goal. Another requirement of this funding is that the child is placed in a licensed foster home. Licensed means the couple is married. They went through an adoption agency.
Description of the character of the technical assistance. The technical assistance under paragraph 1 may support the goal of encouraging more adoptions out of the foster care system when adoptions promote the best interests of the children and may include the following: the development of best practice guidelines for expediting termination of parental rights,
Models to encourage the use of concurrent planning, the development of specialized units and expertise in moving children toward adoption as a permanency goal, the development of risk assessment tools to facilitate early identification of the children who will be at risk of harm if returned home, models to encourage the fast tracking of children who have not attained 1 year of age into pre-adoptive placements.
In short, what the Adoption and Safe Families Act does is it tailors to adoption, and it runs concurrent to termination of a parent's rights.
Wow.
It cannot run concurrent to reunification, because if that happens, then nobody gets any adoption bonus funding, and the case is not Title IV-E eligible. When the department tells you that they have filed a petition to terminate your rights, that is when Title IV-E funding starts, because filing for termination is required under the law.
This is what a Title IV-E application looks like, documented in the discovery of a child who was taken from their parents and placed in foster care. As you can see, mom is on food stamps, 40 initial determination, and also clarifying that the dad is absent. In this particular case, the dad was the one who called CPS. He was not absent, but they consider unmarried parents absent. They refer to the parent without custody of the child as the absent parent.
What is the ACE test? The ACE, Adverse Childhood Experience Test, is a measure of traumatic experiences that examines the relationship between adverse childhood experiences and adult health and social outcomes. Examples of ACEs include family separation, mental or physical abuse. In short, CPS takes a child, then the child qualifies for this bonus funding based on the trauma of being separated from their family, otherwise called special needs children. The law is very specific. If it does not say a particular word, then it probably does not apply to that law. If Child Protective Services removed your child for reasons that are not spelled out in the law, then your civil rights may have been violated.
Yes. Okay.
Was that Ashley I just saw?
They remove visitation. Try
Go back a little bit here.
Then it may be time for you to sue them.
Your civil rights may have been violated.
If you have already done everything CPS asked more than one time and nobody's listening, and it's been more than a year, your child has been in a foster home, and you have already threatened to sue CPS, and they have not responded or changed, then it may be time for you to sue them. Please keep in mind, they do retaliate, and that means you could lose your job. CPS may retaliate and try to keep your kid longer. They may remove visitation, try to make you go crazy. I am going to show you all of the forms you are required to file in order to sue Child Protective Services. Remember, I am not a lawyer, I am actually a robot. Depending on what state you are in, many of the forms required may not be listed.
Okay. So let's talk about that for a minute there, Vinny. Do we get anybody come back here? Mr. Justice, are you around? Did you get in? I sent the link. My son is at my mom died and my aunt. Oh, you got that on there already? Yeah. Vinny, so do you remember in that last segment I was talking about that CPS makes you take that course? That's the ACEs course. And they make you take that. And that's like the number one thing that ACEs class says, is that the trauma that they receive from the removal is more brutal to these children than everything else that's been going on. And so that's what led to my rhetorical question for Herbert, that he didn't like. Then they're not following suit with what all of these standards are, even the ones that they're having you go get certified for. They're not following suit with that. It makes no sense. It's absolutely asinine. It's hogwash. And I can't believe that it's still been able to do this.
They're getting away with a lot of things lately.
Yeah. I mean, look at Daniel's. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Or Danielle's. Carrie's got something up in there too. I don't know what that one is. But T-Dan and Mr. Deadmant? Is that what that is? I don't know what that means. Mr. Deadmant.
Yeah, that's the guy she's talking about.
Oh, okay. Is he the one that's doing those shows? Those programs? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's great. That's good. If you guys want, we can continue watching that. We'll let you guys decide out there. That's the audience. You guys want to continue watching that a little bit more? Watch the forms and everything that you guys that they're going to fill out and everything, or do you guys want us to just chibber jab till someone shows up to talk with us? It's up to you guys out there.
Well, I know I saw Ashley pop in and then she disappeared.
Yeah, old Ashley. There's one thing that we can count on every night. It's Ashley and Carrie. Those are and now that and now that Brenda is out of her situation, we can count on her being in every night. So thank you guys very much for the being such devoted guests or listeners, I guess. So thank you guys so much for that. We really do appreciate it. I know that we don't do a lot for you guys, but we will. The bigger we get, the more things we'll be able to do, and we can start sending you guys all kinds of gifts, apparels, things like that. But until that happens, a thank you is just going to have to suffice. So for that, thank you. He is just a guy. I don't think me contacting him would be effective. No, he used to be a CPS worker and happens to have a YouTube channel. Oh, okay. I didn't see it. That's not that Carlos guy, right? And Brenda. Oh, that's what I meant. Did I not say Brenda?
Ashley says she's coming in.
Okay. Come on in, Ash. Does she have a link for tonight?
Yeah, I sent it to her.
All right. Well, let's see what Ashley has to say. What did I say? Did I not say Brenda? What did I say?
No, you said Brenda in there.
I said Brenda, right? All right, good. Jesus, I thought I was going crazy there. Mr. Durham Justice, we're waiting.
Oh, there's Ashley.
Ashley's in here. Let's see how this goes. Highlight of Vinny's night. Here comes Ashley. Ashley.
Ashley, are you there? You gotta unmute your mic.
Ashley, you're gonna get Vinny all sideways if you can't come through. So she says she has no sound on her end. You can't hear us? Is that what you're saying?
Ash, try restarting your phone.
Well, she can't hear Vinny as long as if you yell louder, it's not going to help her volume.
Yes, it will. If Vinny yells louder, it'll help her volume.
Yes.
I'm messaging her.
Says you can't hear. She can't hear anything, she says. So you can yell till the cows come home.
How can she say she can't hear anything if she can't hear anything? I don't get that.
Because she's typing on this little private chat that you never see pop up.
Oh, I see the chat. I wasn't looking at it at the time.
Well, there's a lot of things that you got to look at around here. That's why it's tough to be a producer. It's hard.
She's rebooting her phone.
All right.
Okay.
Good. Well, I'll play a little more of that video while we're waiting for that. How's that? This video was sent to us by Carrie, by the way.
Is that a AI woman that's talking? That video?
Local court
Vinny's
rules prior to filing.
Yeah.
Fill out a summons in a civil action, mark jury trial, and wait for the court to mail this back to you stamped by the clerk. You are the plaintiff. This form can be found on uscourts.gov.
How'd that guy get so much?
Fill out a civil cover sheet, mark federal question, under civil rights, mark number 440, list all defendants on this form. Don't forget to sign it. Fill out a non-prisoner complaint form, write the 1871 Civil Rights Act as your cause of action. 14th Amendment must be violated in order to be under 1983 substantive due process. Those are the three main forms required. We did not add the fee waiver because paying the fee makes a huge difference in how you are treated, even on appeal. The fee ranges between $400 to $420. It is non-refundable. Write down in your complaint that Rooker-Feldman does not apply. Since the state case is not in your name, it is in your child's name. Also write that you are not required to cite case law, because that will be the next reason they dismiss.
Remember, Section 1983 is a part of the 1871 Civil Rights Act. You have to write that in your complaint. Of course, they know this information, but you need to let them know this is your cause of action. You also need to write out each amendment the state officials violated, for example, the 14th Amendment. Yes, you need to write out the entire 14th Amendment in your complaint. This is the 14th Amendment. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. A clause is defined as a part of a sentence. The Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment is, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. The Due Process Clause is, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. You need to specify which clause defendants violated. The Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment affords both procedural and substantive due process. The Supreme Court has held the requirements of procedural due process apply only to the deprivation of interests encompassed by the 14th Amendment's protection of liberty and property. See Regents of State Colleges versus Roth, 1972. While substantive due process under the 14th Amendment forbids the government to infringe fundamental liberty interests at all, no matter what process is provided, unless the infringement is narrowly tailored to serve a compelling state interest. Washington versus Glucksberg, 1997. Citing Reno versus Flores, 1993. Supreme Court has cautioned that the Due Process Clause does not purport to supplant traditional tort law, and therefore it should not be interpreted to impose federal duties that are analogous to those imposed by state tort law. Collins versus City of Harker Heights, 1992. Daniels versus Williams, 1986. See also Boyd versus Armstrong, 2019. USC Section 1983, a complaint must allege, 1. The conduct complained of was committed by a person acting under color of state law, and 2. The conduct deprived a person of a right, privilege, or immunity secured by the Constitution or laws of the United States. Parrott versus Taylor, 1981. Section 1983 is the appropriate avenue to remedy an alleged wrong only if both of these elements are present. Haggard versus Younger, 1985. Municipality means county or city normally sued with no other defendants. Plaintiff must set forth the specific factual basis upon which the plaintiff claims each defendant is liable. Aldabe versus Aldabe, 1982. In determining municipal liability, it is necessary to conduct a separate inquiry into whether there exists a policy or custom. Davis versus City of New York, 2002-2003.
All right. So clearly there's a ton of information there that that needs to be going over. If you guys, anybody wants this, it's 25 minutes long. Feel free to email us at CPSV Hunting Justice, and we can get those, and we'll send you guys a copy of that. Again, that's CPSV Hunting Justice at gmail.com, and we will be glad to give you guys a copy of that tape too, or tape. Now I'm really losing myself there, huh? I'll send you a copy of that tape, Vinny.
Yeah.
So, right. Oh, right. Ashley, we
you
can
there
hear
with
you.
us?
I thought I heard her talking, didn't I?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that was Lynn.
Oh, hey, Lynn. How are you, Lynn?
Tired.
Tired? Vinny's got you running ragged?
They mean.
Sorry. Changing my camera angle here so I can see a little better. How's that? Is that better, Vinny?
You look fine.
All right. Well, I couldn't see up over that. It was in my way, so I was having a hard time. Instead of just moving it, I would try to look around it and stuff, and I could have just moved it, and it would have been much better. Let's see here, Danielle. I can hear y'all. She says, "All right, Danielle. All right, Danielle. So sweet." She replied to this. Thank you so much, Danielle. Are you from? I'm going to say that you're from southern United States, huh? With the y'all. Who would be my guess? My guess is going to be Alabama.
Tennessee, I say.
You say Tennessee? Herbert, where do you think Danielle's from?
I say Arkansas.
All right, Arkansas.
And possibly Georgia.
$2. Oh, we got someone. Who's here? Ashley.
I hear you now.
Oh, we hear you.
Ashley.
Barely, I could barely hear you guys.
Well, here you are.
There
You're
we
in
go.
now.
I think I figured it out now.
All right, perfect. What's going on, Ash?
I still can barely hear you guys. How weird.
Vinny, yell at her.
Can you hear me
You
now?
have to yell super loud. You have to yell super, super loud because it's like on silent almost. Let me turn on my Bluetooth. Maybe.
Do you remember that?
Get it through the
Do you
stereo
remember
better.
that show, Saturday Night
But
Live?
I wanted to
Yep, I do.
talk to you guys about yesterday the Renee comment with the writ, the We the People writ.
Yeah, yes, do so, please.
That is actually Barbara. Renee's help is one of the people obviously on the writ as well, but Barbara Stone is the one who coordinated it all and got it all together.
Okay, so that's about Barbara
And
Stone's gig.
yeah, her email is just her name, Barbara.
Oh, and we lost her.
We used to have Kim on here with us, which worked for Barbara Stone, which was good. Kim's Kim, right? Kim, yeah. Ash, come back to us, over.
She's back.
Ashley. Who's back? Dun, 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 dun. Hey, Ash, she's coming back.
And she's off again.
And she's gone. Yeah, we used to have Kim would be on the show with us. And she was talking to us about the Barbara Stone stuff. We should bring her back in too. I haven't talked to her in a long time. We should definitely check in with her and see what's going on. She used to give us the heads up on all this stuff too. I'm still trying to work on getting Connie back with us, guys. She's just been very busy. Talked to her just the other day. She said now that her grandkids are back in school, or the kids or someone's back in school, she'll have a little bit more time. So look forward to that coming in the near future. But let's see what else. I'm trying to arrange some things with the top toxicologists in the country to come on the show and help out with some things along the lines of that. So we got a lot of good things coming. So I know we appreciate the growing audience, and we appreciate you guys sticking with us, and enjoying this. So we really do appreciate that. You guys have no idea. But make sure that you like and share and tell a friend and put a comment in here and lean up against the wall with your left hand and put a finger in the sky and whatever else you got to do to help us get the word out about our show. And obviously anything you guys can do to help us out. We sell all kinds of apparel and things like that. We have the show you recorded signs right there. We got Make Parenting Great Again hats right there. This one
Georgia.
Georgia. All right, we danced right around. All right. We got the CPS Punisher hoodie right here, and we also have the Abolish CPS hoodie right there. This one here I love, the Keep Your Rights, Know Your Rights for the Children shirts. It says CPS, I know who my mom and dad are. No, this one says mom and dad, property of my mom and dad. That's what this one says. I have another one that says something different. And then also, guys, if you don't want to pay for any of the apparel and stuff, if you guys can do anything, you also can donate to the show right here. Any of those things that you guys can do, it would be a huge help. We appreciate it very much. Anything, I know that times are tough and we're all fighting these fights. So, but if you can do anything to help out with us in any way, even just sharing this is helping us out. So please don't feel obligated, but if you can do something, please help us out. So let's go to this is a Q&A section here. Let's see what happens when we go to this, Vinny. All right, here we're at it. Ashley says she cannot hear us again. Okay, well, do what you did, Ash, again. Let's see, what is this section about, Vinny? I don't understand. Let's see, what's different here? Nothing?
I don't think so.
I was right about the location. It's Georgia. The person says it's Georgia, the accent. What city in Georgia? I'm curious. I have folks from Noonan. She put Georgia. Oh, Atwood. How far is Atwood, Georgia from Noonan, Georgia?
You guys both making these things up. Noonan, Georgia, you said?
Yeah. It's got to be a distance. Probably like a couple hours, maybe.
Oh, you've been down to Noonan and the Aqua?
Not me. The farthest I've gone is Rhode Island.
I knew that you were going to say. I thought you were going to say New Hampshire, really, but
no. When I worked for Bisson's, I traveled.
Oh, what's Bisson's?
They move office and military families.
Oh yeah, geez, that's a tough job.
Yeah,
being a mover, dude, that's one of those like right up there, freaking. NG, man.
CPS is top of the states here, Danielle. Trust me. We rank #1 in the nation.
Yep, we sure are. Yes, we are. All right, so you can hear and you're back on, right, Ash? You there?
Yeah.
All right, we can hear you too. Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, what's that, Ash? That girl that we used to have on here is Kim, right? They used to work with Barbara Stone. I'm positive it's Kim.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
I'm pretty positive it's Kim. We'll know pretty quick if it is, because if she's watching, she would definitely let us know. But I'm pretty positive it's Kim. It is Kim, right?
No, Jess.
No, not Jess. Jess was never on with us.
I don't think I've ever been on.
I just talked to Jess earlier. The Jess that introduced you and I?
Yeah. Well, we met through actually Vincent Davis.
Yes, we did. But then Jess reconnected you and I. Remember?
Jess and I, definitely.
Right. And then, but yeah, through Vincent, my Vincent days, I miss being with Vincent. I really enjoyed being with him in his show.
A lot, that's for sure.
What's that?
You learn a lot.
Yeah, I mean, he knows. He knew, I don't care what anybody wants. Look, everybody's going to have their own opinion about everybody in this world. And I get it. And, some people, it's not fair to him because he put his face out there to really try. And he really is a pioneer in trying to help people through the platforms of YouTube and that stuff for helping people. And, he really put himself out there to do that stuff for people. And, they come in because they don't like the outcome of their case, or they thought, I mean, let's face it, you knew if you were going to Vincent Davis that you were going to pay some money out of your pocket. You just, that's what it is. But he worked hard to set you up and all of that. So when people would lose or things weren't the same outcome, they would just blow him up publicly. And that's not fair to him. I mean, it's really not, it's part of the game. He can't win every lawyer I'm sure would love to win every fight, but I mean that guy really does put his things out there, puts himself out there to be hung by the public. So kudos to Mr. Davis. And you know what, I would love to have Mr. Davis on here with us one night.
But to Mr. Davis' defense, if he's not given all of the facts surrounding the case, then he's not able to really help the person. people omit information. And when they omit information, he's basing it on what he hears.
Right. No, I agree.
And a lot of people won't tell the actual, all the information.
Right. And if they don't, then he hears it and he says, whoa, 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 I can't help you. You didn't tell me this stuff.
Well, yeah. I mean, he hears what people tell them. And he's basing the case off of what people tells them.
Yep.
And when they lose, is because they omit certain information.
Yeah, he used to talk about that all the time, that he'd get into court and people would get their bombshells on him. And, like that would be, like that would be it. He didn't know this. So he'd have to either, do a recess or even postpone the case in a couple of times, because he'd look over and say, you never told me you got a drug conviction, or you never told me that you like something like you said, but something bombshell like that they reserved from, giving him that information. And this is something I'll tell all you guys too. If you have an attorney, don't lie to them. They need to have the information, because they can't do anything for you if they don't know what they're going into. And don't leave your attorney going uphill. Like if you got in trouble by the police or whatever, don't not tell your attorney, because I'm going to tell you something. It's so much better for your attorney to know about it and be able to cut that off than to be in a courtroom and all of a sudden the prosecutor, because don't forget, they're the prosecutors. They're the assistant attorney general's office. They'll find out anything they want on you. And if you get charged with some sort of a crime, you damn well know that AAG's office is already on the line with CPS telling them that this has gone on, because that's a good thing for the side of the state for their case. So make sure you guys talk to your lawyers about everything. Get your dirty laundry out, because like Herbert just said, they can't defend you if they don't know you. You would knew better. If you knew better, you'd do better. And that's what you guys need to remember when you're dealing with your attorneys.
And just because you got in trouble with the law when you were 10 years old and they said it's sealed. No. Tell your attorney I got in trouble when I was 10 years old.
Yep.
All of that information, you can't omit information.
Yeah, Vincent W. Davis. Yep, that's who they were talking about, Danielle.
Yep.
I was on his show one time.
Was I there with you?
I don't know. I was on there with the other guy there that hosts the show with him, the older gentleman there.
Oh, Bob?
Yeah, Bob's place. Yep.
So Bob came after me.
Yep.
I was with Vincent for about a year, a little over a year and a half about. I was with him. And then I was with Miss G before that. And that's how I got into this stuff. Was I had my case and I contacted them, and Miss G, coaxed me in. Miss G's great. She's a little whippersnapper, that lady. Grace actually pays attention to the show. She watches us from time to time when she says she's not they're all good people over there, and they're all fighting the fight to help out with CPS, and then of course you get all these people that come out and they say, oh, they're CPS or they're this. Listen, guys, here's the problem with this movement. Okay. Point blank. The problem with this movement is that there's so many people that want it done their way right away. There's so many people that want it done their way right away that they start fighting amongst themselves, that they're so hell-bent on getting their name put up there, or they're making sure that somebody knows, who wrote this and why they did this. And I want to be the one that get the kid. Stop all of that nonsense, because you're doing exactly what they want to do. They're starting conflict inside of the movement so that this thing can't even be a freaking movement. You have people like Mr. Davis and all of them. They need to be honest from the get-go. That's right, Danielle. Absolutely right. But you have people that are trying to help people, and then all of a sudden you get a group coming in there and they're just pummeling these people over before they know the facts, before they know anything. And then, instead of having a great ally, you've just decimated another portion of a following. We need to, and you know what? Do it here, because we're neutral with everybody. We're neutral with everybody. We love Dallas. We love Vincent. We love everybody. Everybody that's trying to help these people fight the machine. come here. This is where they need to all be. This is where everybody needs to come to, because we're trying to amass something great, a movement full of people that want to see solutions. If you want conflict, go to, well, I was going to say go to Mr. Jerry Springer, but you can't anymore. But you could go somewhere else, but we don't want you to go somewhere else. We want everybody that's involved with this movement, that they've been affected by Child Protective Services, that they've been affected by, even if it wasn't your kid, it was someone else's, but it's affected you. Come here. Come here and let's start showing people in numbers that we're a solid movement. Because right now, all they see is a bunch of chatty Cathys and everything going around and around and around. And as soon as they get 50 to 100 followers, they're self-destructing themselves. So stop with all that nonsense. Come here. You can trust us and be a part of this movement. Like that's what this is all about. This is all about helping families get back to the family roots. And this is all about making sure our children aren't being stolen and traumatized for the rest of their lives. I mean, we're not even 100% against CPS, because there's got to be some sort of group that is paying attention to what's going on with children when they can't defend themselves. There needs to be a voice for them. It doesn't have to be as dramatic, and how traumatic it is with Child Protective Services and the way they do it. That's why I promote abolishing CPS. I have a bill that I've written that would be put into place to help this. And that does have a time, like a transition explanation and everything, what you could do for that, and then how to rebuild a child protective unit. So I've done this. So I know a heck of a lot more of you are out there way smarter than me. So I know that you guys could do it too. But imagine if instead of us nit-natting and blah, blah, blah each other, if we all focused and did it together, and we did it starting right here and put our voices to something so that people knew that we mean business, that we're serious, and we're not going to self-destruct ourselves. That's not a positive attitude. That's no way to look at things. And people need to start realizing that this is a serious problem. And as long as you have people running around bickering and hee-hawing and telling lies, it's not going to happen. So everybody, stuff it all in the ass, start coming here, and let's build something bigger than what anybody else has built before. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I was on his show, Danielle. Back.
Danielle? I saw you actually. Okay, sorry about that.
February, March, I think. I was on his show.
Yeah, I love Grace. I love Grace so much. I still talk to Grace from time to time. Bob, I see, has a new brick background. He's wearing a suit now. He's a character, that Bob is. Well, Danielle, if you have that host stuff in your blood, maybe you want to try doing your own show. Maybe we could get you your own show on here. You could join us a couple nights if you're interested in that. I don't know if you wanted to branch out and do something like that, but we'd be more than willing to set you up, with your own show if you wanted, if you thought that was something that you were interested in. Because my idea is this, guys. My idea is to build a channel, and this is why I wish that me and Mr. Davis could talk about this, is getting our channels combined, because I know he had the same image as I came up with the whole idea about the seminars and stuff. That's why I created that stuff. Me and Mr. Davis ping-ponged a lot of things back and forth. But we wanted to have a channel that 24 hours a day is nothing but CPS all day long. That's all we wanted in 24 hours. And see, my idea for this show was going to be, at the end of the day, we had talk show with the hosts about what went on during their cases. Well, we haven't been able to get that far yet. So that's what this show at the, the highlight hour, the top of the show, like the creme de la creme of the shows, what it was going to be was a revisit to what was going on in CPS news and CPS during the day. So what we really need are other people to host shows on our channel so that we can do that and get to that point. So I welcome any one of you that have, if you have an idea in mind, you guys want to do it yourself, even if you want to just give it a shot yourself, email me, Danielle. I see that. Danielle, email us at abolishcps.com@gmail.com, and we can get that. I'm going to put both those email addresses up here for you guys, so that you guys can email us as well.
Then, of course, you guys have the show on Saturday, the Vinny Show.
Vinny Show, which, you know what? We need to come up with a title for the Vinny Show. So if you guys can brainstorm out there and help us possibly come up with a name for the Vinny Show, that would be pretty cool.
Over policies and procedures.
Vinny's policy and procedures? Would you say?
My cousin goes over, my cousin Vinny goes over policies and procedures.
Hell yeah. Why not?
Because everybody knows that my cousin Vinny was
Right.
in their head really.
Yeah, I was trying. That's why I asked him if he was Italian the other day when he was on his show, because I was trying to come up with something. I was going to put like the mafia tie to it. You know, hey Vinny's doing the show over there. You know, he's doing the CPS show. You know.
Oh, we had an Ashley face for a second.
No, that was an Ashley hand. I'm at the beach, so
we should call it. We should call Vinny's show Ashley.
all about Ashley here.
Right. Hello, this is Ashley.
Vinny, that is going. It's going to be really big. We've got, I think, about almost 300 parents that are all over the nation, from California to Maine, everywhere, that are all signed on. That's a good one, Terry. But we need to have at least over 5,000 to make it come to the actual, bring it to the courts to actually bring notice to it. So that's what our goal is. Everybody's trying to get the word out, but yeah, it's a hashtag We the People, and it goes over everything about returning our families back to us, back to all of our rights, and it just goes on and on and on. And it's pretty much a writ that says it puts all of the governmental authorities or agencies on notice. So once they're put on notice from this writ, technically they can't do anything to you because they've been served, and then you can actually go after them for any wrongful doing that they've done throughout the case.
Now, how does that work though? When you do a class action like that, how does that work for the personal people? Because I think in a class action, if I'm correct, once they look at that and they rule on that event. Well, first of all, a class action needs to be the same thing for every person. Like it's got to be like Doritos made you throw up. So it needs to be everybody that's Doritos throwing up is that. So I have a hard time thinking that they will do it like that. But what does that do when a class action goes into somebody's suit? Does that eliminate it for everybody else being able to go back and revisit that?
That's what makes this a little bit different than, this is not a class action lawsuit. This is a writ of return, a writ of mandamus.
Right.
It's a writ. It's not really a class action, but we are asking for money from the government for damages that have been done to families. Each case will be different, but the amount of money that we're asking for is, I believe it's a little out of reach, but
yeah, I know the number too. But whatever. I mean, they can only work down.
Exactly. And each case will be heard separately by I think it's a panel of 3 judges, kind of like appeals court, but it will be a complete review or rehearing of your case. So you'll be able to bring all your evidence, and even evidence that was not submitted in your actual case, if it's a closed case. You'll be able to resubmit that in a new motion for exploratory new evidence that was found. And you can bring all of that to the appeals court. Before, in appeals, you weren't allowed to bring in new evidence. They just could go off of what is in the transcript. That's why we say it's so important to object to things in court, because if you object, then you at least got a grounds to stand on while you're in appeals court.
Right. Barbara's coming on here, I think, next week. So
awesome.
she'll be able to she had reached out to me a couple weeks ago, and then I reached back to her, and then we've been kind of like dragging in the days, but I'll try to make it a point to get her on here next week then, since this is becoming a big thing, and let's see what we can do for that and see what we can get, because she's a heavy hitter in this movement, her and like everybody needs to put down their disputes and their little peddly bullshit problems, and they all need to come together, because the thing is this next election is so important. You think about it, if we can't do what we need to do for this election, if we can't put the right people in office, if we can't put these, because think about it, this is how important this is. Judges, most of these judges are selected, not elected. And if they are elected, then we need to pay attention to that too. So we need to put the right people into the place, because we're not going to get the judges we want if we don't. So this is why this is all such a big thing. If we can't,
we need to get rid of all the judges that are in office right now.
Well, I mean, if you can, you can't. But if you can't, you can't. I mean, that's just it. But you start fresh and start doing this, ensuring that that can't happen again, or those judges are put in his favor. Regardless, my point is that if we can't do anything by this next election, we're going to have another 4 years of what we've been doing now. And all of us that have been on this thing for 4 and 5 years now, it's been a long 4 or 5 years. And it's all come to this point. And some people that when I started doing this stuff, they're not here anymore. They didn't make it. Like, so it's almost like the finish line of like, wow, we made it. We got to this election. Let's make this change. So let's do that, people. We got a couple more months, and let's start really pushing on this show who and who not are, like the people that we need to be turning our heads for to elect. I think that's a great subject. I think that's what a lot of people, we really need to turn to the education of this stuff right now. And we need to make sure the elections that they matter. Like that's what's important.
There's another lawyer that's in San Diego. His name's Sean McMillan.
Yep.
He also fights CPS, and he is phenomenal.
Yeah, he's really good.
You can watch for free on depositions on what you should be asking your social worker, and just a lot of case law that's really, really, really helped me out personally, and I'm sure will help others out as well. But I don't know if he's practicing personally anymore, but I know his firm is.
Right.
I got in contact with them not too long ago, and hopefully they'll take on my case.
Yeah, Carrie, I think Carrie introduced him to us at one point. What's this show? Is this show Caps and Stems or something like that?
Yep, Captain Spins Law.
Caps and Stems Law. Yeah, here, let me pull it up for a second. We got a couple more.
Too. It's really good. And if you subscribe for like $4 a month or something cheap, you can have access to all of his, like most of his cases that he filed on, like depositions, orders, motions.
Oh, cool.
All of that information is on there. And if you pay like $4 a month, you can subscribe and it gives you a password. And you can log on and see all of the paperwork that he's filed in certain cases. It's really,
wow,
really
that's
cool.
really cool.
Yeah, that's that thing you were telling me about, right, Ash?
Yes.
Oh, that's really cool.
I know when you're writing your briefs and your things for court, like you just want to cram in as much possible information as possible. But at times that's not a good thing because you're giving them more information than needed, or you're just rambling on about things that are petty and stupid that you think are, of course, important, but in the judge's eyes, they're just petty and they don't care. And you got to kind of captivate your reader like you would in a book, which is really sad to say.
Right. But it's the truth, you're not giving out wrong information.
No.
Actually, why we still have you on here, I'm putting in these things up here, but why don't we do the last words while you're on here so you can get some last words in today yourself? So why don't you start us off in the last words?
Sure, it will. Just every parent's never going to give up, but just have faith. Don't give up. I mean, we've all been through hell and back. I know all of our stories are just like horrific, but I don't believe taking a life is any way, shape, or form of a way to go. I always say it's kind of rude to me to say, but it's a pussy way out of a bad situation.
Yep.
So just know that someone's there to talk for you. Someone's there to help you. Someone's always there. If you need to reach out to one of us, I guarantee that one of us will pick up the phone or at least text you back and have a conversation because we don't need another mother or father or anything like that taking their own life because of the cost of CPS.
Well
So
said.
don't give up. Never stop fighting.
Well freaking said. Herbert?
Oh, my last word, as you know, I'm trying to educate people to avoid CPS. And if you have an infant, having appropriate food for that child age is important. For example, like formulas for infants, baby food, or soft foods, and milk for toddlers. And if a parent is not sure on what food to give their child, they should check with a pediatrician because that is definitely a target for CPS. Because if that child is statistically underweight, you want to work closely with the pediatrician to get that child to the weight that the child should be. And it's really important to stay in tune with that because that is a target for CPS. That's one of the reasons why when mothers have children and they do their visits with clinics and they come in, the child's underweight, next time they have a visit, they're going to take the child.
Yep. All right. Thank you for that, Herbert. Vinny.
Well, for all of you that know and have heard and seen me share my story, I'm going to put it out there. As Ashley said in hers, never give up fighting for your children. They are our legacy. They are our lives. And hate your caseworker as much as you hate the judges, AAGs, and guardian ad litems.
Yes, sir. Amen to that. I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with Ashley on this one too. Suicide is a serious thing, guys, and if you know anybody that's hurting from this stuff, reach out to as many people as you can to help them help themselves. Like Ashley said, I mean, you get a hold of us, get a hold of anybody. There's always somebody that loves you, and there's always somebody that's going to need you in their life. So before you do the deed, make sure you think about everybody that is going to miss you, because somebody does miss you and somebody does love you. So that being said,
Amen.
I'm the CPS Punisher, and we're all out of here. Have a good night, everybody.
Guys.
They take away the fathers, leaving just a mom and cubs. They know that with that out the way, the better things will go. Breaking apart the family, destroying the American way. Our legacy is built upon our families of yesterday. Fuck CPS, fuck what they doing. Fuck CPS, they need to be ruined. It's all about the division of family services. You hear that the division is what they about. They prey upon the family, the ones that the dad's been kicked out. We can't stand for this abomination. This is the song that needs to play across our once great nation, making us aware of the problem, stealing our kids. It's not mama drama. Stand up for those who are lost to them. We need to fight for the family, making America great again. CPS comes along with the mission to protect. The only thing they are doing is cashing in those checks, paid for by the souls of the children, diagnosed by a caseworker who is still a baby herself. They take away the fathers, leaving just the mom and cubs. They know that with that out the way, the better things will go. Breaking apart the family, destroying the American way. Our legacy is built upon our families of yesterday. Fuck CPS, fuck what they doing. Fuck CPS, they need to be ruined. It's all about the division of family services. You hear that the division, that's what they about. They prey upon the family, the ones that the dad's been kicked out. We can't stand for this abomination. This is the song that needs to play across our once great nation, making us aware of the problem, stealing our kids. It's not mama drama. Stand up for those who are lost to them. We need to fight for the family, making America great again.
who has been torn away from their security blanket, their parents, the ones who stopped the boogeyman from terrorizing the nights and curing their boo-boos when they scrape their knees. Now just imagine how they must feel when the CPS meant to protect them tears them away from their supposed abusers and places them with strangers who have zero comforting skills. They need to be calm. They are confused, lost, panicked, and needing their parents, but CPS took them away for the purpose of saving them. The kids don't even know why, and they are told that the parents they attach to no longer want them. What do you think that does? Do you think that this